down to the 6. Darren Smith stopping him once again. 6:32 to go in the third quarter. The Saints with a 26-14 lead, and the Saints jumped all over the Steelers at the beginning of the second half with that 52-yard touchdown run by Deuce McAllister. But the Steelers continue to fight. They are really knuckling up here. Second down and goal at the 6. Bettis again. Bettis, touchdown, Pittsburgh. Alan Faneca and Dan Kreider springing Jerome Bettis.
And no hope for the Saints, Gus, if they don't get penetration. If you let Jerome Bettis get 2 steps of steam inside the 10, watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He was never even touched. You let him get those first 2 or 3 steps.
Be you, nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. And by Cadillac. Bold vehicles defying convention.
A look at the Atlanta Botanical Gardens. Falcons leading the Buccaneers by the score of 6-3. Michael Vick back from the Falcons locker room. Suffered a sore right shoulder moments ago. Falcons with the 3-point lead.
The way Doug Johnson played, Kenny, and the way that Michael was kind of out of rhythm, you would expect that Johnson's going to continue to be in this game.
And the Buccaneers will start from their own 20. We are honored to be joined in the booth by the man who will be performing here at the Georgia Dome after the game, the godfather of soul, James Brown. And my partner Tim Green tells me when he played for the Falcons, James, you took some snaps at practice. Is that right?
Well, I used to play a little football, you know. I mean, I'm still on the good foot with whatever I do, but I used to play a little football.
And you're a southpaw, right?
Southpaw.
Michael Vick.
Yeah, I played a little quarterback, you know.
Yeah, you got under center, you took some snaps, and we really came after you.
Well,
all right. Wait,
yeah.
you got to do for us though what we asked you to do this when you came to practice. You got to give us that. You got to give us that hey, and then we'll throw it to JB after this play. So give us the hey. And then throw it to JB in Los Angeles.
You ready for him?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, JB?
Hey, already back here, JB. As I get set for the update to tell you what Washington is doing. Back and forth game, 12 plays, 74 yards. Stephen Davis, despite the sprained knee, goes in for the score. Washington up. Hey, Tim and Kenny, tell JB I do feel good.
You hear that? He said he does feel good.
Stay on the good foot, partner. Stay on the good foot.
Thanks, JB. We appreciate it. Great to see you again.
All right, from one James Brown to another. Bucks on offense. Johnson complete to Pittman out at the 29-yard line.
JB, James Brown, I should say. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We will look forward to seeing you after the game.
If I don't see the game, I'll see the erotic factor.
Here it is, the next step. James Brown's new CD, and he will be performing here at the Georgia Dome following the Buccaneers and the Falcons.
How about one more, I feel good?
Fantastic. Ow, I feel good. But Papa's got a brand new bag. Check it out.
All right, thanks again. We return our focus back to the field at a penalty marker on 3rd down. That has to be a first, Tim. The godfather of soul throwing it to our James Brown. That's got to be a first.
Absolutely.
Third down.
One JB to another.
And as part of the resurrection of the Falcons here in Atlanta, they've sold out the Georgia Dome, and they will have post-game entertainment following many of the home games.
And the entertainment that want right now is to shut down this Tampa Bay offense on 3rd down. It just went from 3rd and short to 3rd and long.
And Johnson's pass is caught. Keyshawn
He's gone.
down the sideline, 76 yards, his first touchdown of the season.
Falcons defense went to the press one too many times. They left Jerron Bolden out there on an island, and the only other man on that island was Keyshawn Johnson. Watch Bolden. Here's the press. Johnson gets by him, and Bolden does not have the speed. It's almost as if Bolden played that like he thought he had help from the safety. And Henry Jones was not deep. Henry Jones was up, playing in a short zone.
The longest reception of Keyshawn Johnson's NFL career. Only his second touchdown as a Buccaneer. It gives Tampa Bay the lead.
Menu.
The Saints here in New Orleans.
And there's a huge overmatch.
Yeah, you look at how this offense is playing for the Bengals, and you think back to how it went wrong. It started with this bungled punt by Peter Warrick inside the 5-yard line. This sets up a touchdown in the next couple of plays, and then the interception down the other end. Even if you give the Bengals a field goal right there instead of a touchdown, they had field goal position, the Bengals would be leading 17-14 if you take away those two plays. What a huge turnaround turnovers make.
That's what the good teams don't do, though. The Bengals having a problem with turnovers, and now the tight end, Matt Schobel, the rookie out of TCU, with a 12-yard game. We were talking to Kidney yesterday. He said, we've got to get production from our...
That's a big fish.
Can't. He's just not built like that. So they've been spelling him off the field, on the field. Can't get the smile off his face, though. I mean, that's just a happy guy.
Yeah. Not all that happy when they lose.
No. Last week must have been a long flight home.
Both teams 2-2 when the day began. And Tiki runs into a roadblock.
Yeah, somebody just came right out of their shoe.
Darren Woodson. What a solid player that guy has been.
You know, we talked to Dave about Darren. You know, he drafted him. You know, he's a linebacker at Arizona State, and they needed a.
Atticus kickoff taken by Rawson. Brings it out across the 25. Tackled at the 28-yard line. And a flag on the play. Ryan Neese, Ronnie Lott's son, makes the tackle on special teams for the Bucs.
Look at the touchdown, Kenny. Here's Bolden. He's locked up on Keyshawn. Here's Henry Jones. He comes up. So the safety's up, and Bolden has Johnson man on man. He's got to take him the whole way, but he doesn't. I almost think Bolden and Henry Jones are not on the same page, because Bolden played that play as if he thought he had the safety back behind him. But the safety, Henry Jones, came up to play the run, and Keyshawn Johnson gets behind the coverage.
For Keyshawn, his 4th career touchdown in 3 games against the Falcons, as he beat Bolden, who is starting for the suspended Ray Buchanan. Bolden out of Hillsborough High School in Tampa. In fact, he works with the track team there during the offseason.
Well, Kenny, we're being told that Michael Vick has an AC sprain, and I talked about that earlier. That's where the clavicle, your collarbone, connects to your scapula. It's right on the top of your shoulder, and they're saying he may return. They're saying it's 50-50 right now. And I can tell you firsthand, that is an excruciating injury.
Crumpler thought about lateraling it back to a teammate. Takes the short kickoff up to the 39-yard line. Doug Johnson, Tim, during his first drive in relief of Vick, pretty efficient. 3 of 4, 41 yards, and the Falcons kicked a field goal. Getting back to James Brown for a second, the godfather of soul. So how was his arm in practice when he used to come out and visit you guys when you played with the Falcons?
He didn't throw the ball. He only ran it.
He only ran it?
Yeah, he wanted to run it.
How was his speed?
You know, he moved around pretty good.
Did you get him?
I kind of got on the pile.
You know, I know you are the 10th leading sack man in Falcons history.
There you go.
From the 40, Johnson to the air.
Whoa, nice play by Brian Kelly.
Kelly got the hand in.
You know, Brian Kelly has been tested this season, and the Bucs defense feel that he has really held up. Of course, Rondé Barber's at the other corner. Look at Kelly on this play. Now he's got his hand on Jackson, but he can do that as long as he doesn't impede or prevent Jackson from catching the ball or getting his way of catching it. He can put his hand on it. He just can't shove him and stop him, impede him from catching the ball in that way. But he can put his hand on him and make that great play. Rondé Barber, the other cornerback, opposite Kelly.
Johnson with time on 2nd and 10, looking for the fullback, Bob Christian.
And with time, Kenny, is important. Again, Doug Johnson has not felt the heat from Warren Sapp, McFarland, Spires, and Simeon Rice.
Do the Buccaneers feel they don't have to pressure Johnson as much because he doesn't have the legs Vick does?
I don't know. I don't know, but they're not getting the pressure on him. And they certainly got it on Michael Vick. Vick was banged around all game, and I think that more than anything got him out of his throwing rhythm, and finally it got him out of the game.
Well, Falcons converted their first 3rd down opportunity, 0 for their last 8. Johnson's pass caught by Crumpler, but stopped about a yard shy of the marker. And despite the pleas from the fans to go for it, Dan Reeves sends out the punter.
Well, you're only 4 points down. And you've got a quarterback in the game. Even though he's your backup, he's doing pretty well. So I don't think right now in the 3rd quarter is the time to take drastic risks.
I agree. 36-yard punt will return in a moment.
Good quick throw that time, accurate.
And is back out on that football field.
Because we know
Face mask, defense, number 50, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Vrabel is the guilty party. 1st down. Let's check in with Armin.
Greg, just to follow up on your conversation on Robert Edwards, for those at home wanting to know just a little bit more about that injury that he suffered in that flag football game on the beach. He tore 3 ligaments in his left knee, severed the artery. He nearly lost that left leg, as you guys were talking about. And he said really it was his family, his girlfriend and his mom and dad, people closest to him, that got him through this ordeal. Back to you.
Thanks, Armin. Ricky Williams, and Williams hit hard as he.
Bengals, somebody like Marvin Harrison uncovered.
This is his 8th catch he's got 142 yards now, and watch how open he gets at the very top of your screen. Jeff Burris turns and runs. Safety hung with the tight end inside the hash mark, and then found that Marvin Harrison was all by himself down the sidelines. And this is the foul there. You see him, didn't hit him very hard, did Artrell Hawkins, Peyton Manning, but you cannot hit the quarterback in the head.
Nope. Roughing the passer is the signal. It's the right call, and now the Colts challenge from inside the 5. Hedger and James is down close. Is he in?
or near the red zone. Brad Johnson threw a pass to Keyshawn Johnson, which was intercepted right before the half.
3rd down and 12. Johnson looking for Jurevicius, penalty marker.
Looks like Fred Weary may have drawn that flag. Yes. There's Jurevicius, and Weary's on him right there.
Pass interference, 24, defense, 1st down.
Falcons cornerbacks have been challenging Keyshawn Johnson and Keenan McCardle all day. Jerron Bolden had the job to stay with Keyshawn, follow him over the field. Ashley Ambrose, you see Ambrose going here. He's on McCardle. But Keyshawn got the best of Jerron Bolden in the last series.
Cardell out to the 39, close to the marker. His 600th career reception. So it will be 2nd down and 1.
He has been a fantastic addition to this Tampa Bay team. He's a wonderful receiver down in Jacksonville for years and years. And a great pickup for the Bucs. Sure-handed. Great moves. Comes out of his breaks. Very disciplined receiver.
Pittman has the 1st down. Gain of 3 on the play. So the Buccaneers, their drive kept alive by the Fred Weary pass interference penalty on a 3rd down and 12. Buccaneers with the 4-point lead on the move with under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter. Brad Johnson hitting Keyshawn Johnson, a 76-yard pass play, giving Tampa Bay the lead. Longest reception of Keyshawn's 7-year NFL career.
There goes McCardle. There goes Ambrose.
From the 42, the pass caught by Keyshawn. Keith Brooking the tackle. Leans forward to the 49, a gain of 7 yards on the play.
Once again, Kenny, Tampa Bay is shaking that man-to-man coverage by running Keyshawn. We saw him do it with McCardle in the first half, running him out of that bunch, that group of 3 receivers.
6 receptions, 131 yards. And the go-ahead touchdown for Keyshawn Johnson. After 3 quarters here in Atlanta, it's the Buccaneers 10 and the Falcons 6.
Marvin Harrison on 3rd down. Now Vanderjagt ready to kick off to Brandon Bennett. Ball is hit down to the 3. 20. And out to the 22. As up to make the tackle was Joseph Jefferson. Wednesday on CBS on the all-new.
Very little empathy or sympathy for defensive players.
Right. 44-yard line, 1st and 10. Pitch out to Travis Will.
You take somebody come off the bench, they're just not fresh. They didn't expect to be in, maybe not stretched. You go right after him, right at the top of your screen. Or actually, Fakir Brown's in at the top of the screen.
3rd and 3 at the 22. Here's Maddox underneath, caught by Hines Ward. Ward picks up the 1st down at the 26, gaining 5. Hines Ward, what a tough guy.
You know what, you talk about Hines Ward being tough, but he's savvy. He knows where the 1st down marker is. He gets just enough, doesn't come back, always knows where the play's happening. We saw him go ahead and make that spectacular catch in the 1st half and knew where the pylon was. And just a savvy heads-up ball player.
5 catches, 45 yards. See if the Steelers get this off before the end of the 3rd quarter. They do. Bettis over the right side, and Bettis up to the 30. Make it the 30.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers looking to win their 4th consecutive game. They lead by 4. They knocked out Michael Vick, and they scored the go-ahead touchdown.
Yeah, that's right. Now Brad Johnson is operating this offense, and he's doing it efficiently, moving down the field. And Tampa Bay they don't care if they don't win big. They'll win ugly. They just want to win. This is that the new NFC South division. You've got Tampa Bay, you've got New Orleans, Carolina, Atlanta. A divisional opponent, you just want to put them away any way you can.
Brad Johnson took McCardell, but he could not hold on. And what did Howie Long call it? The NASCAR division?
Yeah, but
NFC NASCAR?
Yeah, but then he followed it up by saying it was the strongest division in the NFC. Look at the coverage there. Ashley Ambrose had beautiful coverage. And the thing he does, he stays with it. It's a perfect throw. McCardell makes what looks like a beautiful catch, but you see Ashley Ambrose, he gets his hands in there. He realizes the catch has been made, but then he strips the ball out of McCardell's hands. He just stays with that coverage all the way through the play. There he is again. He has had his hands full all day with McCardell.
Now 3rd down and 3. Johnson under pressure, got rid of it quickly, again looking for McCardell. Time now for a game break, and JB, I apologize. It's only me throwing it to you this time.
All right, partner, take a look at the rookie Patrick Ramsey. I think he's got that job in Washington. His 2nd touchdown pass of the day. That to Kevin Lockett, 23 yards for the score. It's Washington by 14 and the 3rd. Back to Kenny and Tim.
All right, thanks very much, JB. So the Redskins lost a quarterback, as have the Falcons. Another high snap by Unitola. Tupa. And Rossum lets it go. And did Corey Ivy keep it out of the end zone? Does not look like he did. 51-yard punt by Tupa.
Scoring by quarters, and these fans survived the hurricane to make it to the game. They hand it off to Jerome Bettis. Bettis with running room. Jerome Bettis plowing his way forward, and a flag on the play.
21. 1st and goal. Henry ran into his own blocker. It didn't matter. He's banging his way in for a touchdown. And Buffalo reclaims the lead. A player down for the Bills. That is Philip Crosby.
When you get Fletcher defending on David Patton. Sorry, Phil.
No, I'm sorry. But when you get a pass rush, it allows the defensive backs to cover for a shorter period of time. They can be more aggressive. It makes a quarterback has less time to make those decisions. He's not as smart, and you get good defense like you've gotten from the Miami Dolphins today.
Phil, the play prior to this one, the Kevin Falk run, was the first rushing attempt the Patriots had this half. 3rd and 2. And the throw here. That's complete.
Receivers. And once again, Peyton Manning changing the play at the line of scrimmage to give his team the better play. And they make it work.
And as mentioned earlier, they love Edger and James down here in the red zone. In the opponent's 20 inside it. Edger with 1 touchdown today. 0 for 2. Here's Edger and James, and he's stopped at the 5. Bernard Whittington makes the stop.
Atlanta felt like this was a very critical game for them to win, to get them off of the bottom of that division.
Work done. Gains 2 out to the 22 as Doug Johnson remains in his 3rd series at quarterback for the injured Michael Vick, who suffered a sore right shoulder back in the 3rd quarter.
And they actually said, Kenny, that it is an AC shoulder sprain. See Buffalo on top of Oakland with 2:19 left.
Another high-scoring game involving the Drew Bledsoe-led Bills. Johnson and Vick have each completed 4 passes. Vick only 4 for 12, and he gained only 1 yard on the ground. 2nd down and 8. Johnson pump fake, spins, And then complete to Duckett. First down. Out to the 33-yard line. John Lynch slams him down after a gain of 11.
Execution is the operative word for the Falcons offense on this play. Everyone does their job extremely well. The offensive linemen sell the pass. Doug Johnson sells the pass. He turns around and the blockers get out in front for Duckett. Tampa Bay's defense has to rally. This is a totally different game now for Tampa Bay's defense with Doug Johnson in the game. Gone is the threat of the quarterback scrambling around for huge yardage.
Johnson under pressure, got rid of it to Duckett. Nice job by Johnson to get rid of the football. A nice catch by Duckett. Sapp thought he had him.
And Doug Johnson got his first taste of Warren Sapp. Before this, he'd done a good job. Claridge has kept Sapp out. Sapp comes right up under him with the rip. Johnson's able to get rid of this football, but just barely. So now he knows who's out there. Warren Sapp going off the field.
Duckett's gained more than half of the Falcons' total yards. Chartrand Darby replacing Sapp. Out to the 34. And Webster, the tackle on Dunn as Sapp comes back in.
Yeah, look. The crowd booing Kenny. I mean, you know, Warwick Dunn, I know this is his old team, but again, he's averaged 2 yards a carry. Duckett's averaged almost 5.
Dunn went to the Pro Bowl twice as a Buccaneer back in 1997 and 2000, but not been able to get going today against his former club. Third down and 9. From the shotgun, Doug Johnson. Looking for Dunn. And the Falcons will have to punt it away.
Well, Doug Johnson had some nice protection on that play, but he had nowhere to show it, nowhere to throw it. Look, here's this cover 2. There's 2 safeties deep, and that enables the Tampa Bay cornerbacks to press the Falcons wide receivers. So Johnson with no target except for Warwick Dunn, and the 2 of them can't connect on the little check down pass.
That's a fake. Chris Moore throwing downfield, and Kozlowski thought he had it. And then he was hit by Dexter Jackson.
I think Dwight Smith intercepted that ball.
Kozlowski thought he had it in his hands on the pass from Moore. And what a hit by Jackson, leading to the interception by Smith.
We saw one onside kick earlier that worked for the Falcons. This time they go for the fake punt. Moore throws that ball pretty well under pressure, but wow, does Dexter Jackson make a play. Woo! Dexter Jackson knocked his own chin strap off. You got to admire the Falcons' attempt anyway to spark this team, to get something going.
The first Atlanta turnover. Best starting field position for the Bucs. Pittman down to the 42. Picks up the first down as we check in with JB.
Kenny and Tim, after a Kerry Collins fumble, Dallas makes him pay. Quincy Carter back, play action. Hooks up with Antonio Bryant. Bryant's first career touchdown reception. It is now Dallas on top, 17-14, 10:50 left in regulation. Back to Kenny and Tim.
So a seesaw battle down at Texas Stadium. Cowboys out on top. Coming off their huge win over the Rams. Down to the 38-yard line. Keith Brooking, the tackle on Michael Pittman.
I think today, Kenny, when Tampa Bay's offense has had their success, they've They've done really well on first down. They've been in a lot of second and short situations. Not the case now, only about 3 yards on that run, but they've had a lot of first down passes that have worked really well for them. And that's taken a lot of the pressure off of Brad Johnson and enabled him to hook up on more short passes downfield.
And the Bucs struggled on first down over their first 4 games. Here's Pittman reaching out to the 35, a gain of 3, setting up 3rd down and 3.
And Michael Pittman runs like a madman, doesn't he? I mean, he just runs so hard with such energy on every play.
He's given himself concussions in the past because he runs so hard.
He is. Yeah, that's really been the biggest problem for Michael Pittman is he runs so hard. It's hard for him to stay healthy. See, Tampa Bay has just dominated in the offensive category as far as outdoing the Falcons, almost 300 yards. Falcons half of that.
Empty backfield on 3rd down and 3. Johnson to McCardell, first down. Down to the Falcons 20. Fred Weary made the tackle after a gain of 15 as McCardell signals first down for Tampa Bay.
There's no way you can get to the quarterback when it's this kind of, watch this quick release, just 3-step and boom, there it goes. Perfectly executed play. There's the slant route by Keenan McCardell. And Fred Weary either needs some help on the inside from a linebacker or he's got to get inside position on that because Brad Johnson will take that slant all day long if you give it to him.
Here's Pittman down to the 18-yard line. Brad Johnson has hit 7 different receivers. Spreading the ball around. Keyshawn with 6 receptions for 131 yards. McCardell 5 for 68 yards. With 8.5 remaining, and the Bucs up by 4.
And the Bucs going at it on the clock, Kenny. In kind of a 4-minute offense here. Pittman running the ball, throwing the short, safe passes. See the classic shifting of a John Gruden offense, moving the personnel around, guys moving around, on the line, off the line.
And it's McCardell again, inside the 5, down to the 4 before Carpenter brought him down as McCardell and Keyshawn celebrate.
Well, McCardell's dancing because it's the same play. It's just the same play. They're doing it from a different formation. Watch McCardell. It's the slant. It's the play we just saw him on before. Just comes up, he puts a fake. I mean, they've got Sam Rodgers covering Keenan McCardell. That is such a mismatch that you know Brad Johnson is not going to fail to take advantage of that. Johnson sees the field too well to try to cover his top receiver with a linebacker.
Mike Alstott wrapped up by a trio of Falcons. No gain on the play.
Think about how important this series of downs is right now. Time running out. Bucs have done a good job here on this drive, kind of grinding away at the clock. The Falcons defense, the way their offense has played, which is not very lively, they have got to hold Tampa Bay to a field goal here. If they do, then they're within 1 touchdown of tying the game. If the Bucs score a touchdown here, it could be ugly.
2nd and goal. Johnson looking for Keyshawn. Ron Bolden on the coverage. They continue to chat.
Boy, it was excellent pressure on Brad Johnson on that play. Watch it here. It's good coverage by Bolden. There he is. He gets his good inside position. He jams Keyshawn. And watch the pressure come here from the right side. It's Sam Rodgers. And that takes a little bit of the accuracy away from Brad Johnson's pass.
Remember, Keyshawn, no red zone receptions this season. Looks like Buccaneers have called timeout.
Well, Kenny, this is where that 7th or that 12th man, the crowd in the Georgia Dome, needs to take effect. And that's one thing the new owner, Arthur Blank, was determined to do. Sell out this stadium, get the fans here. They're going to have to make a lot of noise on this huge 3rd down play.
Point to Marvin Lewis's defensive players. No matter how things start out,
keep working, stay hard-nosed, and you're
both on the field and on the clock. And on that, on a 3rd and 19 or 20 like that one was, Don, you want to get like half of it back to give yourself some sort of chance on 4th down so you don't have to throw it deep down the field. They got about 13 yards to go, and they've got a chance to go for it.
They've got to give him time to get it away. The Colts will be coming hard. They're coming with a 4-man rush. No blitzers. A throw and a catch to Peter Warren. And he is shut down on very good defensive play, way short of the 1st down. And the Colts take over the ball at the 25-yard line, their own.
Goal for Tampa Bay from the Atlanta 4. Johnson rolling right. Throws to the end zone, incomplete. Intended for a diving McCardell.
What discipline by the Falcons cornerbacks. Ashley Ambrose and Jerron Bolden, except for the one play Bolden got beat for the touchdown, have done a really fine job. Look, there's the 2 receivers. So Bolden actually ends up taking McCardell, and Ashley Ambrose ends up covering Keyshawn. So they switch the coverage, and look at that play there by Jerron Bolden. Keeps the Falcons alive. Even with a field goal, they're still only a touchdown behind.
Grammatica hits from 22. So the Buccaneers extend their lead to 7.
Special. He's in dirt bike.
Exactly. Play action. Lexington.
I don't get it. You got Wesley Walls right there. I mean, there is, to me, absolutely nothing wrong with that formation. Wesley's number 85. He's a tight end, and he was up on the line of scrimmage. His head was definitely penetrating the plane of that center's waist, no doubt.
Lamar Smith on the run. Stopped him right at the line.
And Campbell hustles down to about the 15.
And we see Kerry Collins this time double clutch. Tony Dixon goes down this time. Double clutch with the ball, and in the pass today, he's nice job of seeing the field. Pulls it down, clutches, knows Campbell sliding him free underneath. It was Dixon that knocked him out, and then he might have knocked himself out on the sideline.
He's still down.
There's the clutch. That takes time to do that.
Yeah, that's.
So one win away from another NLCS, while Bonds and the Giants look for some October magic to save their season. Game 4 of the NLDS tonight, only on Fox.
6:31 remaining in Atlanta. A 7-point lead for the Buccaneers as Alan Rawson awaits Martin Grammatica's kick. Grammatica hitting on his second field goal of the game moments ago to extend the Tampa Bay edge. Rawson turns the corner. That is tackled at the 15-yard line by Corey Ivy.
Pizza.
Third down and 3. Jack West.
Manning and the Colts, their professional precision. Working the offense, working the playbook. Manning now throws over the middle of Marvin Harrison all day long.
Touchdown run. And then Fiedler to Chris Chambers for the touchdown. Mare 40-yard field goal made it 16-0. And then David Patton
two-point conversion failed, and then Randy McMichael on a 1-yard touchdown catch. David Patton on the receiving end of the 25-yard TD pass from Tom Brady. You know, Ricky looks like he's had a long day, doesn't he?
My word for it.
That rush defense we were talking about that New England has had so much trouble with.
Well, there's no doubt they've been a lot better today for a couple reasons, I think. Change of philosophy, simplified their run defensive thoughts and adjustments. Didn't give those big running lanes to Ricky Williams.
3rd and 8. This is Robert Edwards, and Edwards never really got a chance to get going.
5 years. For restrictions, see your retailer.
A mad scientist fuses man with beast.
So how do you like being a walrus?
I haven't been this skinny since high school.
All new Simpsons Halloween special, 8/7 Central, Sunday, November 3rd. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Saturn, makers of The View, the redesigned L Series, and coming this fall, the all-new Ion.
A look at Turner Field about 5 minutes from the Georgia Dome, home of the Braves, who will play on Fox tonight in San Francisco. Game 4. Braves leading the Giants 2-1.
Tom Glavine versus Barry Bonds. Bonds, the home run king, has never been to the World Series.
And here in Atlanta, the Falcons looking to come back. They trail by 7. Johnson hit, intercepted by Sapp. The lateral to Brooks, and the Tampa Bay defense has scored for the 4th consecutive game.
The pressure came from Anthony McFarland initially, and then Doug Johnson just got a taste of that Tampa Bay defense the way Michael Vick did all game. Watch McFarland. He comes right through Travis Claridge. Johnson steps up, and then it's Spires and Rice smashing him. Warren Sapp with the interception and the lateral to Derrick Brooks for the Tampa Bay touchdown. Maybe a question of whether or not this was an illegal forward pass. Look at Sapp. How about that? Yeah, now I think that was a lateral. I think he tossed that ball back over his shoulder. And as you said, Kenny, Tampa Bay defense does it again. Look at that toss right there, because Brooks has to go back behind himself to scoop this thing up. And Derrick Brooks, the all-pro linebacker, has been in the end zone 3 times now this season.
Atlanta is challenging the ruling on the field after the interception.
5th game.
The return man pitched it forward. We'll review the play.
Well, we already saw it. It looked okay. Well, it looked like it was a lateral.
Again, it's close.
But if you're Dan Reeves, you may as well challenge.
Absolutely. You have nothing to lose.
And Tim, for Warren Sapp, it's only his 2nd career interception, both against the Falcons. As a rookie in 1995, he picked off a Jeff George shovel pass. And this his 2nd interception, gets it back to Brooks. And pending the review, the Tampa Bay defense scores for the 4th consecutive game.
Well, Doug Johnson was just blasted by Rice and Spires. I mean, blasted. And the story of this game, really, Kenny, is this Tampa Bay front 4 and what they did to the Falcons quarterbacks today. Because Michael Vick never got into a rhythm. He was 4 for 12 before they knocked him out of the game. And then Doug Johnson, he got a feel of it as well. There's the lateral right there. I don't think that we're going to, again, Kenny, see anything that can overturn it, because you have to have, again, that indisputable visual evidence.
And you think back to that Music City Miracle, the playoff game between Tennessee and Buffalo a couple of years back. Lateral on the return, which won the game for the Titans, and they eventually played in the Super Bowl that year here in Atlanta.
And, you know, Kenny, it was really interesting during the commercial break.
I think Warren Sapp took the energy from this Atlanta crowd. This is what he was doing during the commercial break.
Right before that play.
And they were booing him. And remember, we sat here and I said, hey, he is picking up energy from this crowd. And then Sapp got into the defensive huddle, and he was feeding off of their boos.
And he's still doing it.
Well, you know what? As a player, you can feed off of boos just as well as you can feed off of cheers.
So would you say he sapped the crowd of their energy?
He sapped them of their energy, because look at it. I mean, if you have 70,000 people cheering for you, it's almost the same feeling of exhilaration and power if you have 70,000 people booing for you when you want them to boo for you. Sapp wants to be the defensive bad guy in Atlanta here today, and he was.
After reviewing the play, it's been determined after the interception, 99's pass was a lateral pass, which means legal. The result of the play is a touchdown, and the play stands as called. Atlanta is charged with a timeout.
So it is a touchdown. The fourth in the last 4 games by the Buccaneers defense. In Baltimore, Derrick Brooks takes it back 97 yards into the end zone. 1 week later on Monday night, Kurt Warner picked off. It's Brooks again. A 39-yard return. Watch the block. Sapp throws here on Kurt Warner as Brooks scores. And then against Cincinnati, Achilles Smith picked off. Shelton Quarles, 25 yards into the end zone. And today, the interception by Sapp, the lateral to Brooks, and he scores his 3rd touchdown of the season. And getting back to Sapp, remember what he told us yesterday? He said, you asked him if he feels he's hated around the league. He says, well, it's a love-hate relationship. They love me except when I'm playing against their team.
Then they love to hate me. In fact, he won't even order room service to his room or food to his room. He says, I always order the food to the room across the hall, and then I listen for them. So they don't know it's coming to my room and to Warren Sapp. I'm afraid someone might try to do something with my food.
Which is what Kobe Bryant thought happened to his food during the NBA playoffs in Sacramento. So Warren Sapp orders food to the room across the hall and then listens for the knock on the door.
Receiver. Tom Brady has such confidence in him. When they give him an option, in other words, he can go run down the field and go in or out and do whatever he wants. Tom Brady says he always gets open.
2nd and 10. Brady steps up and throws to Kevin Falk, and Falk upended at the 20, forward to the 18. Clock continues to move. Brady wants to kill the clock again. Get a couple of shots at the end zone here. Takes the snap, stops the clock with 8 seconds to play.
Well, maybe just one shot. 4th down. Unless it's a sideline throw, you almost have to try to stick it in the end zone.
Well, they'll go 5 wide on this 4th and 4. Pump fake, throws, corner, overthrows, incomplete. The ball will go over on downs with 3 seconds.
That money is mine. I want it. Go time.
Knockaround Guys. Rated R. Starts Friday. An unimaginable threat.
This cannot leak out to the public.
An unstoppable man.
You want results, but you never want to get your hands dirty.
An unforgettable new season.
Get out of Los Angeles now.
24, the season premiere. Presented without commercial interruption by Ford. No boundaries. Tuesday, October 29th on Fox.
The Buccaneers have scored 14 touchdowns this year. 4 by the defense. It's the first time Buccaneers have scored on defense in 4 consecutive games in team history.
And those 2 defensive players, Sapp and Brooks, we talked about right from the beginning of this game. They played all last season injured. Brooks with a foot injury, Sapp with a shoulder injury. People said maybe their best days are behind them. These 2 guys spent the offseason in long, slow painful rehabilitations. We talked with both guys about them, and they said, look, we're back, we're 100%, and we will be back defensively to where we were before. And then how ironic is it that on the really turning point play of the game, it's those two guys. It's Sapp and it's Brooks. Sapp with the interception, laterals to Brooks for the touchdown.
And John Gruden challenged his defense prior to the season. He said, I want you guys to score 9 touchdowns this year. They already have 4 in 5 games.
That's a pretty nice luxury for an offensive coach to request 9 touchdowns from his defense, and then looks like he might get them.
Doug Johnson, the handoff. T.J. Duckett out across the 25 to the 26. Gain of 3 on the play.
And the crowd doesn't like it because, you know, they've got to go to the air. I mean, they can't be running the football now. They've got to go to a 2-minute offense and score 2 touchdowns quick if they want to have a chance.
Falcons 1-2. Their 2 losses have been by 3 and 1 point. Johnson slides out to the 31-yard line.
Kenny, and the NFL, it's a world of second guessing and Monday morning quarterbacks. But I will tell you this. This week in Atlanta, people are going to look at these numbers right here and say, let's see, Duckett, he carried 11 times. He averaged 4.7. And Warwick Dunn got the ball 9 times, averaging 1.6. And people are going to second guess and say, why would you give Dunn as many carries as Duckett when that disparity is so great?
And that theme started to come out the last couple of weeks.
Well, it's gonna be rampant this week in Atlanta.
And a tough schedule coming up. Dan Reeves told us our next 4 games, including today.
False start, 74, offense.
Really?
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And Dan said Falcons' next 4 games will define where we are, Tim. Today against the Bucs, and then Giants, and then 2 more divisional opponents.
Right, and both of those divisional opponents right now, Carolina and New Orleans, looks like they may win their games. So you'll have 3 out of the 4 teams in the NFC South. Right now, Kenny, looks like we'll be 4-1. So it's not going to get any easier for the Falcons. Giants are on top. We just saw the Fox box drop down a few minutes ago and showed Giants went on top of Dallas. That's not going to be an easy game for Atlanta next week in New York.
3rd down and 9 as Johnson fires for the first down to the 37-yard line. First catch of the game for Sean Jefferson.
Kenny, that is the second 3rd down conversion for the Falcons today. Only the second. Prior to this, they were 1 for 11 on 3rd down.
And Tampa Bay in their last game held the Bengals to 2 for 17 on 3rd down. Johnson looking for Jefferson once again. Incomplete.
Really, the story here today was this Tampa Bay defensive front. Warren Sapp, Greg Spires, Anthony McFarland, and Simeon Rice pounding the Falcons quarterbacks, pounding Michael Vick, keeping him out of his rhythm. And, you know, when you think about the run game that's the quarterback's best friend. It's not his dog. There's Michael Vick on the sideline with an injured shoulder. It's the run game, because the run game takes pressure off of the passing game.
And Michael Vick averaging 61 yards on the ground coming in today, 1 yard rushing. Dunn could not hold on. And so getting back to the Buccaneers defense, this is their 3rd road game this season. They played in Baltimore, in Cincinnati, and now here in Atlanta. They have not allowed a touchdown by the opposing offense in 3 road games. Cincinnati's only touchdown was scored by their defense.
We're talking with Warren Sapp. He wasn't overly exuberant about their statistics coming into this game, because he said, look, the last 3 games, yeah, we've played great, but the total record of those teams is 1-10. So Monty Kiffin, you see there, the defensive coordinator, constantly challenging these guys, constantly asking them to get more and more out of themselves.
Johnson to Jefferson at the Tampa Bay 44 for a first down, gain of 19. Giants continue to lead Dallas. Washington by 17 over Tennessee. A surprise down in Nashville. Cardinals have come back to tie the Panthers late 4th quarter. Oakland now leading Buffalo Simeon Rice got a hold of Johnson, but Johnson able to complete to Kozlowski. Rice already with 2.5 sacks today.
Clock continues to run. Johnson with that clock really would have been better off not completing the pass, but he didn't know that. Oakland going up on top of Buffalo 42-31.
And Oakland scored 52 points last week against Tennessee. Intercepted. Dwight Smith with his second pick of the game. The other coming on the fake punt attempt. The third Buccaneers interception in the second half.
To get it in the end zone, though. 46 seconds left to play.
They'll take a quick timeout.
They have one left.
Now they're within range now of a Hail Mary, but for right now with 44 seconds, that's plenty of time to move it down so you have a much easier shot at the end zone. The middle of the field is still a possibility too, Don. They can still use the center of the field. And watch it here, and this is
Kinney with the catch, and another by the Tampa Bay front four, pounding the Atlanta quarterbacks. And Warren Sapp, we got a little vignette of him and his body language. It says a lot. That's like a hop shake move. You know, Kenny, remember yesterday I said to Warren, the last thing I said to him was, I said, hey, have fun. Did you see the smile on his face? He said, oh, you know it, right? I mean, he has fun playing this game. He plays it all out. 3 tackles, 1 interception, and he has pounded the Falcons quarterbacks. Simeon Rice has done a great job as well. Anthony McFarland, Greg Spires. They have just lambasted both Michael Vick, knocking him out of the game. There's Simeon Rice and Doug Johnson.
3 interceptions the last 3 drives for the Bucs defense, including a fake punt attempt. Ball stop up to the 35-yard line.
Kenny, take a look at this effort here by Tampa Bay's defense. No touchdowns allowed, 3 quarterback sacks, 3 turnovers forced, 10 points off of those turnovers. Look what they did to the Falcons' run game. 3-2 a carry. 3rd down conversions, 3 of 13. Remember, I said the only game Tampa Bay has lost this season was to the New Orleans Saints, and Aaron Brooks, the quarterback for the Saints, this is where he won the battle. On 3rd down, he converted 50% of them. Throwing the ball, running the ball. As you pointed out, Michael Vick today 1 yard as to his typical 61 yards.
And what you did not see on that graphic is that the Tampa Bay defense scored for the 4th consecutive game as well. Derrick Brooks' 3rd touchdown.
Anthony McFarland looks like he's taking a nap. He's had such a big day and he's so comfortable. He's just going to have a nap.
Oh, there he is.
Sapp woke him up and said, dog, you're on camera.
From the 36, the pitch to Pickett. Down to the 34-yard line. Well, today's game produced by P.T. Navarro, directed by Peter Bleckner. Our associate director, Fred Morrison. Broadcast associate, Carrie Kloster. Technical producer, Kevin McRoby. Pre-game show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The studio technical supervisor is Jonathan X. The senior producer, Bill Brown. The executive producers, Ed Gorin and David Hill. Crunching the numbers here in Atlanta, Eric Merlis, Ben Bowman, Josh Weingrad. As the Buccaneers let the clock wind down all the way to the 2-minute warning, as they are on their way to their 4th consecutive victory, led by their defense.
Andy, I'll be back in 30 seconds with scores and
Watch this by Bennington as he starts headbutting.
Mormon to punt in the shadow of his own crossbar.
And Randall has taken down a flag on the play. Darren Smith gets it.
Bruised right collarbone.
About the Benjamins.
I love it.
Comeback with some miraculous comeback.
The defense has to stop.
You see him here. He'll get the right one down there, and then he'll start dragging this left one right behind it.
That's still from far away. Kind of hard to tell if that right foot was planted on the line or in not. But, you know, we go back to the original point that as long as the call that he was in bounds, unless you show something to prove that he was not, they have to stay with the original call, which is a completion.
And they're seeing the same looks we are. We haven't seen anything that's indisputable, Kurt, that'll turn it over.
Well, it has not been an easy first season for John Fox. He won his first 3 games, but they were close. And then last week, losing in the final seconds at Green Bay. Right now, 1:13 to play. He's in a tie ball game.
This is where he'll need his defense to really make some big plays. And they are ranked #1 in the National Football League. And I think they really proved it last week against Green Bay.
Kenny, the Rams have beaten the 49ers in 6 straight games. But today, of course, they're 0-4. That's a huge story. And they are without quarterback Kurt Warner. Most people know he broke the pinky on his throwing hand. And he's out. He says he'll be back in 4 or 5 weeks.
Jamie Martin will start for the Rams.
Right, and for San Francisco, they've got Garcia, but they've got this guy. How about Terrell Owens? How explosive is he as an athlete? Look at him here against the Redskins. He goes to throw the pass. When that breaks down, he just turns it on. He has speed, he has strength, he has athleticism. He's got some moves too.
And the fans here in Atlanta know about those moves. Remember the overtime touchdown he scored here last year in the 49ers 37-31 victory. Well, the Falcons led this game 6-3 in the 3rd quarter. And the go-ahead touchdown, a 76-yard pass play from Brad Johnson to Keyshawn. And then the defense took over.
They really did take over, too.
And for the Falcons offensively, Doug Johnson led them to that go-ahead field goal, and they took a 6-3 lead after he replaced the injured Michael Vick. Johnson complete to Finneran for 14 yards. Falcons have no timeouts. They lost 1 on the challenge, and they used their other 2. Falcons will visit the Giants next week, while the Buccaneers will be home for Cleveland.
Hey, Kenny, October, this magical October, it is brutal on the Elks Club and the Rotary Club where I live in Skaneateles, because look at all these games. I mean, you got baseball games all over the place. You got football. Look at this. You really don't have a lot of days to do anything in this month, right? And see, the Elks, they meet on Wednesday nights. It's out. The whole month is shot. The Rotary meets Thursday night. It's over. No one's going to be there. Everyone's going to be watching sports on Fox this entire month. You got a couple Friday nights off to try to squeeze something in.
I think you just drew a map of some small country that I can't identify.
That's the county that I live in, Onondaga County.
Upstate New York?
Sure. In the town of Skaneateles, where the Elks and the Rotarians are going to have a month off.
Well, the New York Yankees and Arizona Diamondbacks will have some time off after their meeting in the World Series last year. Both eliminated yesterday. Baseball continues on Fox tonight with the Braves and the Giants in Game 4, as Johnson is upended by Brian Kelly.
After this game,
You've got the Eagles and Donovan McNabb against Jacksonville and Fred Taylor, who's just incredible, doing a phenomenal job running the ball this year. McNabb, we know how exciting he is. Or you've got the 49ers against the Rams.
Nearly picked off by Rondé Barber. Well, we mentioned the Yankees eliminated yesterday by the Anaheim Angels. David Wells on the mound in Game 4. Taken deep by Sean Wooten, Jason Giambi's high school teammate, with the home run for the Angels. And then the Angels doing it defensively. The final out, David Eckstein. The Angels celebrate their first ever postseason series victory in their history as they move on and will face the winner of the Twins and the A's. That series going to a decisive 5th game. Johnson to Dunn. Looks to get out of bounds as he hurdled over Kelly. Clock stops with 26 seconds left. Now, speaking of baseball, Doug Johnson was a 2nd-round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and spent 2 years in their minor league system.
Well, Doug Johnson came in and was on fire there for a little bit, but then that Tampa Bay front four came back to life. They gave him a little taste of what they'd given Michael Vick, knocked him around, and since then he's not been very efficient, and he's thrown 2 critical interceptions.
4th down and 2. Pass deflected and a penalty flag. .21 seconds remaining. Here's Bill Carolla.
Illegal use of the hands to the face, 25 defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Well, Kenny, I know Michael Vick was knocked out of this game. I know he didn't have the spectacular game that he's had in the first 3 games this season, but it's going to be part of his education. I still contend he is the most athletically gifted quarterback to line up and play in the NFL. He's the fastest. He can run incredibly well. He's got an incredible arm. He did not get into a rhythm today. But that's going to happen. He's going to have a long and very successful career, and I think this franchise is going to be able to build on him.
I agree. He was outstanding over the first 3 weeks. The loss up in Green Bay in overtime. Falcons could have won the Chicago game, missed a late field goal, and then the 33 rout of the Bengals 2 Sundays ago. Well, the Buccaneers will win their 3rd consecutive road game to start the season. First time since 1979 that they will start 3-0 on the road. Carolina now behind, trailing Arizona late. Cardinals could go to 3-2 on the season. Now to 14 seconds. Johnson, the veteran, out of bounds at the 36 with 7 seconds left. So the Buccaneers go to 4-1, their 4th consecutive victory. Falcons will drop to 1-3. Keyshawn all smiles. Longest reception of his career, the 76-yard touchdown pass from Johnson, which put Tampa Bay ahead 10-6.
And all day long, Kenny, the Atlanta cornerbacks, Ashley Ambrose and Jerron Bolden, did a good job against Keyshawn and Keenan McCardle. They limited them somewhat, but with Brad Johnson as the quarterback for Tampa Bay, if you make one mistake, and the Falcons did,
let's see, was it intercepted in the end zone by Brooks? He's on the bottom of the pile, and he has the football. The 4th Tampa Bay interception on the final play of the game. What an effort by the Buccaneers defense. And they win it over the Falcons by the score of 20-6. For Tim Green, Bud Blanford, and our entire crew, Kenny Albert saying so long from Atlanta. Stay tuned to Fox Sports for the Fox Sports Game Break Show with JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy right after these messages. And for more information on today's game and the latest NFL news, log on to foxsports.com. So long from Atlanta.